So, a very good afternoon to all of you. So, today we are going to discuss the basic parameters and the system functions regarding the Z transform. So, in the previous lecture, what we had discussed is that why Z transform is required. Okay, what are the benefits of having a Z transform? How a Z transform will enable us to obtain the frequency spectrum of a discretized signal, and especially those signals which are diverging in nature. It means whose summation till infinity is not possible. For obtaining the frequency spectrum of these signals, we have successfully utilized whatsoever called as Z transform. Now, coming to our function, I will discuss the system function with the help of some examples that how we can deduce the Z transform of these basic functions. Now, let us consider UN. I will love to go few pages back. Yes, have a look at this. This is UN. So if we have to evaluate UN, the Z transform of UN, then eventually what we will do, we will put this multiplied by Z to the power minus n in the summation formula of Z transform, where n is varying from minus infinity to infinity. So automatically when we keep UN, then the limits change from 0 to infinity. So now what we are left with is Z to the power minus n, and the summation is done from 0 to infinity, which yields eventually Z to the power 0 plus Z to the power minus 1, Z to the power minus 2, and so on till n equals to infinity. So the summation becomes a sequence starting with 1, having common ratio Z to the power minus 1, and it sums up to 1 upon 1 minus Z inverse. So this is nothing but Z upon Z minus 1. Many students tend to remember the latter formula, that is Z upon Z minus 1. But what I will suggest is that you should go for 1 upon 1 minus Z inverse. That is the best form. Remembering this, first of all, eventually engineering is not about remembering things, but even if you are trying to remember the best form, okay, the best form is 1 upon 1 minus Z inverse. And subsequently, have a look at this. This is the summation formula. The common difference is Z to the power minus 1. Now we can recollect from our basic knowledge of geometric progressions that an infinite series only sums up or gives a finite result when the common ratio is having modulus less than 1. That can be seen here. The modulus is less than 1. So eventually it becomes 1 upon mod of Z less than 1, which gives us mod of Z greater than 1. So this mod of Z greater than 1 is simply implying to the fact that the Z transform exists only for those Z whose magnitude is greater than 1, or I can say in simpler language that the ROC, the reason of convergence of this particular sequence, is mod of Z greater than 1. And I am again going to emphasize one more very important thing. Z transform written without the ROC is nothing, is null and void. So it doesn't have any significance, it means nothing. So whenever we are using Z transform or expressing signals, we have to be very particular that the reason of convergence is totally specified. Now have a look at this, the second sequence, that is 2 to the power minus n UN. Okay, I can bluntly say that this is a to the power minus n UN. Now a will change to 1 upon 2. So all of you are very much well aware with the formula, that is 1 upon 1 minus a Z inverse, provided that half z inverse or z should be greater than half. That's it. Directly I can say that mod of z should be greater than half, or I can use the basic rule, that is I will sum up 2z inverse from 0 to infinity, that is shown here, and by writing the summation I will get the first term as 1, the common difference is 2z inverse, and again the common difference has to be less than 1. So this gives us z is greater than half. Now a very important thing that needs to be emphasized is that the ROC will give us the area, or the ROC will give us the idea regarding the causality and the stability of the system. So we have to be very particular regarding that thing. Okay, the role of ROC will become very critical. Okay, now one more thing, the system function defined here, for example, if you look at this 1 upon 1 minus a z inverse, then it is nothing but z upon z minus a. So the poles of the function lie at z equals to 0 and z equals to a is the pole, and the 0 lie at z equals to 0. It means that I can say that for z equals to a, the entire z transform of the function goes to infinity. Okay, so now I am again moving on to the next part, that is reason of convergence. Now the most important part, the application of ROC, is that for a sequence to be convergent, okay, the ROC, the reason of convergence, must include the unit circle. It means this ROC where this ROC where the unit circle is inside the ROC is basically implying that the system is stable whose ROC is this. Okay, so I think till this. Okay, and one more thing, this is for a causal system. Even if the system is non-causal, then still it can be stable provided that the ROC contains the unit circle. Now a very interesting Z transform, that what is the Z transform of delta n equals to 1. Okay, it is very interesting that the Z transform of delta n is 1. Okay, we can simply evaluate from this expression. Now n u of n, it is again very simple. It will be Z inverse 1 upon Z inverse divided by 1 minus Z inverse the whole square. Okay, you have to simply implies that we have to differentiate it with respect to Z and multiply it with 1 minus 1. Yeah, this is a basic property. I will come back to it. I will show that property, that what do you mean by multiplication by n. Wait a minute, I will come to that part eventually, because it is important that in studying I will relate all the things. Okay, this is the base of finding the inverse. Yes, this is the properties, time shifting. Okay, I am not able to obtain that property. Time reversal is there, convolution is there. No, because I think no, I think this is not present here. Yes, this is it. If a function is multiplied by n, you can see that it means that it is nothing but minus d upon dz into fz. It is very simple. So if it is multiplied by n square, then it becomes minus of d by dz taken 2 at a time. Why I had arrived at this property? Because this helps us in evaluation of typical summations. For example, if we take fn equals to this expression, then this seems to be a very difficult one. But what we will do? We will simply expand this expression. Upon expansion, n square by 2 gets multiplied by this term, and n by 2 again gets multiplied by this term, something like this. And if we know the Z transform of Gn, then we will simply take double differential of Gn and get the desired answer. That's all for today's lecture. I will see you in the next class. Thank you.